Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Rockcliffe Park. We're here to formally announce the appointment of Michael Carrick as our new head coach. I'm joined by Kieran Scott on the end there, our head of football, who will also be available to take questions as well. Last few weeks we've been very busy here, conducted a thorough review and process to identify the new head coach, and Michael gladly accepted our offer to come and join us here at Middlesbrough Football Club. We're hugely excited by his decision and our choice moving forward. Kieran, Steve and myself were highly impressed by Michael's passion, his ambition, his experience, his attention to detail, but above all his humility as well. Michael's been a winner throughout his career and has also worked under a lot of fantastic coaches, and he brings all that experience to us, and we're looking forward to him implementing that here within the football club and hopefully taking us forward. We know we've got some challenges. You don't normally change your coach without challenges, certainly within the league position. We know that Michael's up for that. We know the team around him are up for that, and we'll all be there to support him and press through and see how we go over the coming weeks and months looking forward. So I'll hand over to questions now.
Yeah, the words
Keith?
of Neil Bowser, the Chief Executive of Middlesbrough Football Club, on the day that Michael Carrick is announced. Michael, congratulations, your first job in management here at Middlesbrough. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, I feel great. I took training this morning to get started. Was great to see the boys. Great to be out on the grass. Was what I'm here for, and to work with the players, get to know them, for them to get to know me, and help improve them as individuals, as a team, and so yeah, I'm absolutely delighted to be here. It's something that I've been looking to do, and not in a rush. I was patient. I wanted to learn. I wanted to do things the right way and be sure that I was ready and take the responsibility and the role on. And I definitely feel that 100%. I got the support of Neil, Kieran, and the club, and really looking forward to moving forward with the players and improving and making us better.
Yeah, you've been out of the game for I think 10 months now. It feels as though you've waited for the right opportunity to come around. Why is this the right opportunity for you?
It just feels right. It feels right. I trust my instincts and my gut. I always have done with the decisions that I make. Obviously, I got a real affinity with the North East. I was here as a 9-year-old boy, 10-year-old boy, and 11-year-old boy, and then I moved on after that. So it's football throws up some funny things at times, And my dad was here as a player and played in the reserves when. It tells me he was half decent, but I didn't see him. But yeah, so there's a real attachment with the football club. My family's still in the North East, and I know what football means to people in this area of the country, and the passion, the enthusiasm, and the life and soul of the football club, and rightly so. So that's another reason. And of course the fact that there's so many managers, and Steve's given them the first chance and gone on to be successful, but more importantly that I think being given the chance to develop, to learn, to dare I say it, make the odd mistake here and there, but the trust and the willingness to work together and give, like myself, I want to give youngsters a chance, and if you're good enough you deserve a chance, and if you're good enough you're old enough, and hopefully it's a situation same as me stepping in as head coach and how Steve and the club sees it.
We've seen you out in the training pitch with the players this morning. You held a meeting with them beforehand. What do you make of the playing squad at your disposal, and do you think there's enough there to get yourself away from the trouble that you're currently in? Yeah,
of course. Listen, I can sit here and tell you it's all sorts of different things. The reality is we got to work hard. We got to improve. We want to make the team better as individuals and collectively. I think it is a good squad. I think there's a lot of talent there. I've seen that with my own eyes this morning. And obviously I know I've been watching them over a period of time now to get to know the boys, and that's the challenge. We want to move up the table, we want to be better, we want to improve, we want to play good football, we want to play winning football. So yeah, I'm not here for a fairy tale. I'm here to work, to give my best, use my experience, and help the players. It's about the players. Football club is about the players and about the fans, and I'm definitely well aware of that.
You've worked under some world-class managers, both as a player and as a coach. I know you could sit here probably for hours and talk about the great things that they have done in their careers. But what are the main things you take from them that you can use moving into your managerial career?
There's an awful lot of things. I mean, it's more things that you've seen that sometimes you don't realise where it's come from. That's experience, I suppose, in all walks of life, where sometimes it just trips in there and you've seen someone else do it, and then it's not until maybe I've done it myself and I think about it and like, oh, actually, you know, that manager done it or that coach done it at a certain time. And I think that's the beauty of experience and being able to work closely with such great coaches and managers that I've been fortunate to do. And then trying to be my own person. I think that's one of the things I've seen over the years and learned, that you have to be yourself. You know, you have to trust what you believe in, and use the experiences in little bits here in situations, in little bits there in situations. But ultimately, you got to be your own man and be true to yourself.
I think you're the 9th manager in the last 9 years here at Middlesbrough. So I'm sure Neil will testify stability will be required. How do you go about bringing that here?
Yeah, of course. I think you've got to be realistic. I think you've got to be calm without being, relaxed. I think you've got to be calm and you've got to be focused and see the bigger picture. Understand, for me, as a football club, my passion is younger players and connecting the whole club with the academy, for the 21s, and with the first team, and giving younger players a chance and making feel everyone who's at the club is here. There's a purpose to it, and we're trying to do things in a certain way. And within the team, of course, results. You know, I said it before. I can sit here and say all sorts of different things, but results on the pitch ultimately is what we're striving to. So I'm well aware of that.
If I can just bring Kieran into your left-hand side. Kieran, how big a day is this for the club, and how will it look moving forward in terms of recruitment, and how will you two work together?
I think for me it's a big day for the club, because I feel like we've gone to the point now where we've brought a head coach in who wants to work and he wants to operate in a way that, I feel we should. And ultimately, when I met Steve and Neil 14 months ago, that was exactly how they wanted it to work. So I feel it's a good day and a big day for that. And that purpose alone for me is where we can actually start, and I can start to operate how I want to. Recruitment-wise, I'm pleased that's sort of come up actually, because the recruitment gets a little bit of I find it to be quite a strange feeling outside to what goes on inside. So I'm pleased you've brought that question up, because how it operates internally is we would never sign a player that's not, wanted by every member of this of the first team staff. So I really want to make that clear. And that for me, Michael's, we've had a long detailed chats about how that's going to look, and ultimately Michael's and myself have got really good, I feel like a really good early feel for how that's going to look, and hopefully we can take that on.
Michael, 4 of your first 5 matches in charge and away leading into the World Cup is going to be a testing start. How do you see that?
Yeah, of course, it's a testing start. That's what we're here for, face the challenge head on. 2 weeks till the break, intense 2 weeks for us. But to be honest, for me and the staff, it's a good chance to get working in a short burst, and then to get some good working with the players in the break. It's not something you get an opportunity to do that very often, especially coming into a new role, and to get work through the season. So we'll hit this 2 weeks head on. We look forward to the games, home, away. They're the fixtures that we've been given, and we look forward to it.
Just finally from me, Neil, obviously we've been here before a number of times, but
Yeah.
It feels like a big day for the club, doesn't it?
It's a huge day. There's a lot of excitement around the place, a really good feeling. Michael's coming in, bringing that freshness, that hunger, that energy that hopefully provides us some success, and as you say, the stability that we are craving and need. It's a new chapter for us, but a chapter that we'll all work together to hopefully make the success that we all aspire to. Our aspirations as a club haven't changed. They were, they are, and they will be to play at the highest level. And we'll put everything in as a club to support Michael and work together as a group to hopefully achieve that.
Hi Michael, Mark Drury from BBC Radio Days. Nice to meet you. Do you think you're ready for the hectic nature of the Championship? I know there's a World Cup break coming up, but it is busy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's busy, but I'll be totally honest, I'm used to playing a lot of games. I kind of have done as a player and did do when I was coaching at United, and different competitions, but it's still relentless. It's the nature of football. It's what I love. I'd much rather be playing a lot of games in every 2-3 days than one a week. Of course, the coaching side of me thinks it's a bit of time on the grass with the players and working in it. But at the same point, we're here because we love football. We love winning football matches. That's the beauty of the game. And whether you're a coach, a head coach, a player, a fan, that's the joy that winning football matches bring. So I'm happy to play as many matches that's thrown at us, and hopefully we'll have a successful time.
What have you taken, or what do you think you will take from that brief spell you had in caretaker charge at Manchester United?
That I felt comfortable in the role. Probably the ultimate is the biggest thing, of having the responsibility, which I kind of hoped, and I did think that I would be quite comfortable in the role without being relaxed. You know, sometimes you don't know how you're going to feel or is it going to be like, and it was a natural fit for me. So everyone's asking me about it. Must have been all sorts going through your head and quite stressful, but actually felt quite calm. So that was a real positive for me. And I know I'm not getting carried away. I understand it was 3 games in the situation as it is. It's a different responsibility to what I have now. But at the same time, it gives me real confidence in knowing that I'm ready. And I said that to Neil. I said I feel I'm ready. And you know, with the team around us and building on that as we go along, I feel really confident and positive what's ahead.
And that spell was at a club you've been at for a long time, for 12 years. So how is it to have come away from that and to be starting somewhere afresh, you know, getting to know Neil, Kieran, the players, everyone else? How is that process?
Probably one I needed, to be honest. Manchester United as a club was my life, and you know, has been for some time. Respect the club greatly, love the place, big friends there. My son's there, he plays there still, so I won't ever lose the affinity. I was at the away game 2 weeks ago with my son, so that was a huge part of my life. That's football. That's you get attached to football clubs, you know. And when I'm in somewhere, I'm all in. And but there comes a point you got to come out. I said I felt comfortable in the role. You got to come out that comfort zone a little bit to a point and test yourself and make your own way. And that's why I'm here. At the same point as I said earlier, it's where it all started for me. So there's an element of feeling kind of that I belong here, and that's not a kind of throwaway line. That is genuinely how it feels. And since I've came over the last day or so, I've felt really at home, which is down to these guys, but more importantly the staff and the players and the surroundings that I'm in. It's I see football clubs about people, to be honest. You know, how you have relationships with each other, whatever the role in the club. I believe in that a lot, treating everyone the same and having the respect, and they've certainly given me that in abundance over the last day or two here.
How much thinking did you have to do about coming here once the initial contact was made, once the offer was on the table?
How much thinking? Not a lot, to be honest, because it was that feeling of straight away. There's been other things kind of come in front of me over the last 10 months since I've left United, and it wasn't right, didn't feel right straight away. I kind of knew, and I'm that type of I'm quite decisive and kind of make my decision. I'd rather be clear and knowing, and I feel better for that. And I just felt straight away this was really exciting. I had a buzz about the way I was going about my days that I didn't think I might have got so soon after leaving United, and that's the truth. But this is definitely got my juices flowing again, and I'm so excited to be here.
There's been a lot of interest from the fans about your choice of first team coach in Jonathan Woodgate, who's clearly been sat in that chair you're sat in now. So why him? How will you work with him? What will he bring?
Yeah, Woody's vital to helping me, to working together. You know, it's not actually about me. It's about us as a group. It's about us as a club. So Woody's vital. I've known him for quite some time. Not that we've been super close over that time, but I've known him, and speaking to him over recent time when this was the plan. We clicked big time. Really clicked. Get on so well. But see, more than that, it's not about being mates. It's about seeing the game in a certain way. Woody knows the club inside out. Everyone's delighted to have him back. I'm absolutely delighted to have him on my staff. and I see us working together and having a really strong relationship. So I'm really, really pleased that we're working together.
And you won't be the last of your coaching staff, obviously. I know that the team yesterday said there's one more to come. What sort of profile of person are you looking at, or do you actually have an individual in mind?
I think we're just looking to improve all the time. I think whether it's playing staff, coaching staff, whether it's an assistant, for me, I think is you've got to evolve, you've got to look forward, and you've got to keep improving. I'm patient with that. I'm not chasing it. It's got to be right. I'm the type that I wouldn't just do something for the sake of it and fill certain things just because you feel you should do. It's got to be right. We feel we've made the right decision so far, and in terms of the staff and the balance in it. And the next one obviously needs to be right, like it is when we're signing players. It has to be right, and the dynamics have to fit, the balance has to fit. So we'll take that decision in due course.
Question for Neil. Obviously, when you bring someone in like Michael with his experience and his international caps, his medals, all the rest of it, how helpful is that to you as somebody who sells the profile of the club?
I think Michael's profile speaks for itself. His success in the game, everyone's aware of. I think the bigger impact is with the players. There was a real spring in the step this morning. There was a spring in the step around the place. But Michael's experience and success was a significant part in us bringing him in. But his ability, his experience, his characteristics are as important as what he's achieved. And we think the mixture that he brings to us, that balance that he brings to us, that drive, that enthusiasm, that steely determination is where hopefully we'll succeed together.
Hey Kieran, obviously you said before you hope this is a fresh start, a fresh page for you and the way this model is going to work. How closely will you and Michael work together? I mean, how regular a contact do you expect to or hope to have in this job?
He's next door to me in the office.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been boring him to death already. Listen, I expect that we will have contact when we need to have contact, really. I mean, we will pass each other on a regular basis. We'll speak when we need to. I mean, I don't really know where to elaborate any more on that. We're next door to each other. I mean, I want to help him settle in, and but what I also don't want to do is blow his mind with stuff at the moment. He's got to make his own mind up on stuff. He's got to see what he sees, and then as we pass, we'll keep communicating, and we'll get to a common ground, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, hi Michael, Andrew from North. Michael, 11 months out the game, what's that been like for you personally?
I have to be totally honest, I've had a great time. I've absolutely loved it. That was the reason it was the choice I made, so it's a lot easier when it was my decision to have the time out of the game. I needed it. I hadn't. When I was playing, I went straight into coaching, and I felt in some ways I owned my family, Lisa and the kids at that time, and I wanted to be there and spend time with them, and so I really enjoyed myself. I'd done things that I've never done before and never had the opportunity to do, which was the idea, and then at some point, to get that buzz back I was always going to come back into the game. It was just a matter of when and where. This is where we find ourselves because it's the right fit for me.
I mean, it took a while from your name first being linked to the club to the appointment. Should fans read anything into that delay, if you like?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. It does make me laugh at times when some of the things that are kind of written or said. And in some ways, the fans, they're reading it, they believe it, and that's fine. That's the nature of it. But from the start, as soon as we spoke, I was really excited about it. Like I touched on earlier, I'm the type that things need to be right, and once I'm in, I'm all in, and I needed to make sure, we needed to make sure that it was everything was in place. So I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. Hopefully it shows. I really am happy, so happy to be here. I've committed. My family's still living in Manchester, so I've committed to coming up here and dedicating myself to this, and I really am all in. So I'm absolutely thrilled to be here.
How long's your contract?
I don't know what we'd like to say. I don't know. Has it been released?
2.5 years. At the end of this season and 2 more.
And obviously, you know Manchester United incredibly well. fans again are going to be thinking, can we anticipate perhaps some signings from that neck of the woods?
It depends who's expensive or not. Might give me a couple of cheap deals, hopefully. Listen, that's part of football, isn't it? Of who you know in relationships and building that and the trust to hopefully will take good players and whether it's to sign them, whether it's on loan, and they're going to trust us looking after their players, and players are going to come here and play because they see us doing things in a certain way that they want to be part of. Like, I'm here because I'm excited. We want players to be here who are excited and want to be here for the right reasons. So that's obviously the work that we're going to get to in the coming weeks, preparing for what's ahead. So it's something to look forward to.
And finally from me, this is a club in recent times has appointed managers rather than head coaches. You are happy to be head coach, and that's what you want. Yeah.
Again, I'm relaxed about it. I don't really see a big fuss of the difference to that point. Really, I'm here to work with the players, and as I'm a club man, to work with the club to make the club a better place and to make the team better. So, I'm relaxed about it. I said to them earlier, it doesn't really bother me.
Thanks, Mike.
Right.
Simon. Hi, Michael. Simon O'Rourke from ITV Scientists. How long have you dreamt of this moment, being sat in that chair, your name on the door?
Yeah, in terms of dreaming, I think it's probably over time, to be honest. Like it's touched on earlier there, but I got a real flavour of it last year. It was something that I was coaching at United. It was something that I was looking at that maybe one day. Not that I wasn't in a rush, especially working with Ollie. I loved it, and it was a great experience. But he gave me a lot of things to do, a lot of responsibility, and it was kind of the natural progression really after that came to an end. And it's that little driving in me that I always wanted to give it a go, feel that I can do it, and I'm ready for it. Similar to playing, if you were a player, I'm not a player anymore. I want to dedicate myself to being the best coach I can be, and that's where I find myself right now.
You touched on it in your interview with the club about a healthy football club and a connected football club, and obviously you sat with these gentlemen here. How important is that everything works in concert, everyone's pointing in the same direction?
It's massive, absolutely massive, and I think I touched on it earlier about the connection with the club in terms of, everyone who has a role here and works here is here for a reason and is valued for what they do and for what they bring, and I certainly see that. It's not just about the first team or our best players in the first team. It's about an awful lot more than that, and as I said, it's about people and relationships and coming into work with a real purpose, and I really feel strongly about that. So, and as a club we do, we've spoken about that and how much we value that. Listen, I was a player. I just said I'm not a player. I was a player once, and I needed a chance, and Harry gave me a chance at West Ham. As a young player, you need an opportunity. Whether you take that, then that's yours to decide or to take or not. But we're here to if they're good enough as a young player, then they've got the incentive that they'll get a chance. And what more can they ask for? It's up to them.
Question for Neil. You mentioned the word stability as kind of a magic formula every football club wants, isn't it? But how important is it to this club after COVID, after an up and down kind of couple of years? I
think you're right. It is vital for every club. Sometimes easier said than done. But as I touched upon earlier, I think with Michael, we all feel the fit is right. The bond already across the club between Michael and the players and the staff. We have a great group of staff here. They'll put 150% behind Michael and help him to achieve what he hopes to achieve and we hope to achieve alongside him. So yeah, we do crave the stability, and hopefully Michael will be a catalyst in delivering that for us.
And I suppose for Kieran as well, similar question, what does stability look like for you?
Stability, obviously a manager that wants to stay for the long haul, and I don't say that loaded, but I think sometimes you can come in with an ambition to move quickly, and I honestly don't feel that with Michael. So for me, that it starts there, and then obviously underneath that, myself, I need to build something, I want to build something, I need someone to build something with. So I think the stability will come from that, and then obviously as it moves down, the same applies. So that's what stability looks like to me.
Graham?
Hello Michael, Graham Courtney, Talksport. It all started at Wallsend Boys Club. I mean, from your point of view, how much of a pull was the North East to come back here?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't, it wasn't away, but it wasn't, I wasn't desperate. That's not the reason why I'm here. I'm here because of, I love the people. I'm one of them. Grew up and I left when I was 16 to go to London, but it was more the as well the football club, what it stands for, the supporters, incredible supporters, and a lot of it's actually hard to explain. We've all made decisions in life and it just feels right. So a big part of it is that go with your instincts and what feels right, and that's why I'm sitting right here.
Thank you.
Damien, please.
I'm Michael Carrick from PA. You mentioned earlier that you've worked under some very well-renowned managers. Did you speak to anybody before you took the job?
Yeah, I spoke to Sir Alex a few times. Probably spoke to him over the last year, since I stopped playing. I spoke to him more since I stopped playing. Didn't really want to get too close to him when I was a player, but so I spoke to him a lot. Yeah, I think he's obviously it's well documented that he has a real pride and a care about ex-players progressing and being coaches, managers, and takes a real care and pride in helping them as well. So he's certainly done that to me, and I really appreciate what the advice he's given me.
How much of an influence has he been on your career?
Yeah, I mean, hugely. I thought I kind of knew football to a point until I got to United, and it taught me a whole different way of living, breathing, how to play football, how to win, and it all stemmed from the boss. So he was a huge influence. Improved my game, made me a better person, all sorts of different ways. So I've got a lot to thank him for.
You've sort of hinted at this, but can you manage in the same way now as Sir Alex did back in the day?
Do I look like an angry Scotsman?
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
I think, listen, you got to be your own person to a point. Society and social kind of circles are very different now to what they were some time ago, should I say. I'm well aware of that. I think you've got to treat the individuals all differently to a point, and get the best out of them individually, which he did, by the way, in different ways. So I learned a lot from that. But again, I've got to trust my instincts and go and not try and copy too much. I'm my own person. I'm comfortable with that.
I mean, you've spoken in the past of your gratitude for Jose Mourinho and getting you into the coaching staff. I mean, what is there anything specifically you've learned from him and working under him that you will bring into Middlesbrough?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to go into specifics if I'm honest with any ex kind of manager. But the biggest thing, Jose had the faith in me to give me an important role at the club and work alongside him and see how he works every day, how he approaches it, how he sees the game. It's the little things that you pick up a lot, and how he spotted things in players and not necessarily the obvious things, and he was really smart and bright at seeing that and predicting how players would turn out. So I learned a lot from him.
Rock, papers, guys, please. Craig.
Michael, Craig from the Tayside Gazette. Nice to meet you. I'm just wondering, obviously knowing that you were coming into the role, how much kind of studying you did about Middlesbrough this season, about the players you inherited, and if off the back of that you come in with any kind of clear vision of how you would like it to look moving forward.
Yeah, of course I did. When it was apparent that it was a possibility, then of course I've watched an awful lot. I've found out what I've needed to find out, but at the same time, not wanted to look too far ahead in terms of the players. I want to see them. I want to feel what they are like around the place on the training ground and give them the chance that they deserve. Every manager's different. There's not a right or wrong way. Every manager's different. Some players respond to certain things. So for me, it's important to see the boys up close, get to know them, try and get the best out of them, obviously, and make decisions, ahead of that. I think the beauty about this, like I said before, is 2 weeks of 5 games, which is is what it is, and we're looking forward to them, and it's going to be intense. And then we've got a bit of a break to kind of take stock, and it couldn't probably felt any better in terms of coming into a role like this for me.
Yeah, and as you alluded to, that might not be an overnight thing, but do you have a kind of, if you like, a style of philosophy, a way you would like a Michael Carrick team to look?
I have to say that philosophy kind of winds me up a little bit sometimes, because I could come and put a great presentation on about how I see football, I want it to play, but ultimately it's what happens on the pitch. Of course we want to play winning football, and you might have certain things in your head that you really believe in and you want to get to, but that's not probably going to happen on Saturday, because you've got to be realistic, and I'm not overloading the boys with so much information. They've got to go and play on Saturday and play on Tuesday, and we need to get the best out of them. So it's small steps, quite patient with that and quite pragmatic in how we need to go about that. But of course there is a vision of how we want to look in the future, and obviously that's winning and climbing up the league, playing attacking, entertaining football. But everyone wants that, don't they?
You mentioned before, Ole started giving you more responsibility around the Man U first team. Can you say what that was and how that made you sort of feel grow into the role of being a manager?
Yeah, it was to do with taking the meetings, taking a lot of meetings, taking a lot of training, responsibility of planning training, taking training. It just heavily involved, especially me and Kieran, in an awful lot of things. So I wouldn't be as comfortable in sitting here if I hadn't have gone through that process with Ollie, without doubt, because of what he gave us and how much he allowed us into his way of thinking and the work that we done. So I'm hugely grateful for Ollie for them 3 years, because it was a real learning experience for me.
And those games when you were in the dugout, when you were actually in charge at Old Trafford with 80,000 people like that, I mean that must be a huge learning curve as well for you to really give you the taste.
Yeah, it was a learning curve in some ways, but it wasn't that far away from kind of what I had been doing anyway for a number of years. So you're right at the coalface, you're right there, you're making decisions with Ollie. Yeah, I'm not the manager, so ultimately it doesn't fall on me, but I felt it did, because you're that much invested in it. So it wasn't a case of, well, that's not my problem. It was a case of we're all in it together, and so it wasn't as probably a bigger step as it might have looked from the outside, and that's maybe how I felt. So kind of fine doing it, naturally fine doing it.
And last one, this club's been a brilliant springboard for managers getting their first chance. Robson, McLaren, Southgate, yourself now. I mean they've done right for themselves. Karanka as well. So you might want to be England manager one day, or is that the kind of pathway you look for when you see Southgate's done it from here? I'm honestly not looking that far ahead. I just want I'd be stupid to do that, really. Yeah, of course we all we have dreams and but I've really not thought. I just want to be the best. No, in terms of them, that is another. Without being fairy tale stuff, it's you're here and now. It's what's happening now. The situation. You've got to be realistic. It counts for a lot in terms of the support I'll have from Neil, Kieran and Steve, and knowing the club and supporting managers on the journey, really. But it still that doesn't take away the responsibility in the job in hand. That ultimately lies with me, which is great. That's why I'm here, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Michael, on Sir Alex, what was the gist of the advice? He's given advice to so many young managers over the years. What did he say to you?
Yeah, he said quite a bit of things. It's probably not for me to be telling everyone what in some ways, which I'm sure you respect. But a lot about being your own man, being your own person, doing what you believe in, stick to your beliefs and your principles, and as well as a lot of other things. But he's done it to so many young managers over such a long time, and has such a respect in the game, which is pretty obvious. You don't need me to tell you that. So anything he does say, you listen and take on board.
Do you think you are capable of dishing out the hair-dry treatment?
Listen, if it needs be, yeah, I'm fine with that. I've got a real stubborn streak.
and a real drive, and if that's the case, that's the case. You know, I had to do it certain times as a player, as a coach. That's just how it is. You know, it's not Mr. Nice Guy or happy faces and happy times all of the time. It's you know, you need a mix, and the right thing for the right situation. So whatever's going to get the best out of the players individually and as a team, then that's my job to do.
You've obviously come full circle from starting here as a kid. What are your memories, if you have many, from that age?
Yeah, a couple of photographs knocking about actually with Gary Pallister and back in the day. So yeah, I started under nines. Was here for 2 or 3 years in the end. It feels like a lifetime away in terms of time wise, but there is the beauty of that is where it all started. That's where I got that first real buzz of you know, being part of a football club and going to Old Ayson Park and watching them back then. And again, I said to the players today, to be honest, I said, remember what it feels like when you were a kid and you were playing football, and that feeling of the joy and the expression and the freedom of what it felt like. So again, you mentioning that's what it was, that's what I felt like then, and that's what I feel like now.
Michael, one of your old teammates last week got sacked, Steve Gerrard. Are you ready for the brutal nature of management? Because it's all smiles now. It's not always like that.
It's only my first day. I'm only joking.
It's a brutal business, but it's something you want to get involved in. You were desperate to get involved.
Listen, you got to respect for it. Is it like I'm as I said before, I'm not coming in here and expecting a fairy tale. You know, I'm here to do a job. You know, I've been given that responsibility, and it's the challenge. Neil touched on it here. There's a challenge, and then we're all facing the challenge head on. So you're realistic. You understand what's required. That's no problem. That's just something that I've lived with pretty much all my career, especially when you get United and you're expected to do and perform a certain way and get certain results. That's just how it is.
The academy here has been so good to produce so many good players. That from the fact that you've mentioned it a few times now, that's obviously been a big draw for you here to have such a good academy and so many good young players to draw from potentially.
I just think it's hugely important for a football club to have that belief, to have that connection. Again, otherwise, what's the point in having the whole academy and having people working in it and trying to coach and make kids better if you're not going to give them a chance? So that's just what I strongly believe in. Simple as that.
And obviously with that comes maybe not it won't be necessary to bring players in if you're prepared to give them chances and maybe, as you said, make mistakes on the job a little bit, but know they're going to be better long term.
Yeah, of course. And listen, I'm not saying we're going to have a team of academy graduates, should you say, in next year, because you got to be realistic. It's not it's not a fairy tale, but if the boys are good enough, and we say that, they'll get a chance without doubt. You know, they obviously have to earn it like anyone else. You know, that's just the business. That's how it is. But certainly we'll be looking to help improve, create pathways, and develop them as best as we possibly can.